Hi, this is Marcus, and I am going to do a very quick tutorial here to show you how to create a DxO PhotoLab palette workflow. I got a couple questions from individuals that had watched the video that I did on DxO 9, and I was explaining my workflow by using the palette, and they sent me a comment saying, how do you get that? How do you actually manage to configure it that way, and that they were not able to see certain things on their screen. So I'm just going to go into that and actually show you that. And then there's going to be one more thing that I'm going to show you of how to back up your indexing database for DxO and how to sanitize it as well. So I want to show you those couple things. So the first thing that we're looking at right now is if you're new to DxO, when you come into DxO, you will see something similar to this where I'm in a folder. It's showing me the photos that's part of that folder. And then I'm actually looking at the one that I have selected that is showing up right here. The way that I have mine configured is that I'll have mine, I can adjust this window. I can adjust this window lower, right, to where I'm just looking at the toolbar in the main photo. And I can go through the photos by clicking this right here. And that would allow me to just go through each photo. Or I have mine configured to where I just want to see all of the photos. And then when I find a photo that I want, I go ahead and I double click on it. And it takes me into the customize window. Now this work area over here is what individuals were actually asking about. And so I'm going to show you how to do that. If you come into DxO and this is your first time using the application, you will not see this palette because this was been customized by me. This is probably the one that you're going to see. Under workspace is going to be standard. And standard, this is probably what you will see when you come in here. Now, if you don't have DxO Viewpoint and you don't have DxO Film Pack, you're not going to see those things either. Because if you have the elite versions of those, they will be integrated into your DxO PhotoLab workflow. You'll probably just see this right here. And then if you go under the palette, you'll see there are certain things here that you can go ahead and add. So just by either hitting those hotkeys, or if I hit detail, you'll see that it puts it over here that way. And you can start putting it over there, and then you're able to do, you're able to configure it the way you want to configure it. The easiest way to get all of the palettes that are available based upon the configuration you got is to go on to palettes and, go on to workflows and click DxO Advanced. That's going to bring everything in and is also going to expand everything. So we'll go here. I will tell it to collapse. It'll collapse every one of them except for the one that I did it from. And if I click that, that will collapse it as well. And from here is where you would start moving things around, right? So if I want geometry to be at the top, I'd have geometry. I'd have DxO Viewpoint. I would also have, I'd have color. Then I'd have light. And then I'd have detail. Watermark will be at the end, right? And this is the configuration that I use for my workflow. I think it's easier to use. Now you do have this little module up here that comes by default. If you roll your mouse over it, this is for light, this is color, this is detail, this is geometry, this is watermark and effects, and this one's going to be local adjustments. If I go ahead and click this right here for geometry, you'll see what they're giving me under geometry, right? They're giving me all the stuff under geometry with the exception of vignetting. Vignetting should be under the geometry for the lens. If you go to Lightroom or Capture One, you will see that the vignetting will actually be part of when you correct the lens. In DxO, by default, it is not there. So that's why I've taken my time to actually put it in its proper place, and that allows me to move by really quickly. And then once you get it the way you want it, right, you can go ahead. Now, if I'm using this, you'll see when I click on one of these, it removes the palettes and just show me the palettes that is coming from the module that I'm clicking on. If I turn that off, then my palettes come back to one that I've actually customized. So that is how you create it. Now, If you're not seeing these parameters, and sometimes I believe one of the users said they were not seeing the panel to this side, more likely this has been collapsed, right? And this could be collapsed at the bottom as well. So if this one is collapsed and you come in and you see this, what you want to do is there's a dot that's right at the bottom. You just put right over the dot and double click, and that will bring it up. And if I go over to this side right here, that will allow me to double click. The one at the bottom here will allow me to adjust it only so much. This is as high as I can go. It won't let me go any higher, but I can go all the way down to nothing, or I can go down to the smallest, which will allow me to go through the film strip to find a different photo that I want to work on. When I'm inside of the PhotoLab, I can do it a whole lot differently. I can just pull this down, and as you see, this will allow me to adjust it. If I want this to be bigger in this window, you can see this is what's showing me the actual photo because I got it to fit. I'm using this right here to fit in the screen. But if I wanted to go closer, I could go 75%, and now this is going to give me 75% of that photo. If I want to go back, I click this, and that will make it fit the window. If I hit this, that goes 1:1, that's at 100%, and I can actually zoom in and take a look at the photo much more closely. But when you're in the photo, if you're actually inside the photo library, I don't know, because you can't do any corrections from over here other than add a preset. I don't know if that's really effective. So I'll go back and put it back like it was. And if I double click on it, it'll take me right in, right? Because I'd have to click on this button here, and that would take me to customize. Now, if I go back and put this where I can't view that window, and then if I go and double click, it automatically takes me into the customized window. So that's the workflow that I'm used to using. And that's what I do. You can also create any custom palette that you want to. You can go in here and I can say, let's create another palette. So I can create a, let's just call it film palette or film strip. And when I create that, I can go ahead and drop this here. And now within that film strip, I can put this here, and I can go in here, and now I can start adding parameters to this film strip. So I can add anything that's related to that I want to add in my workflow. So you don't have to be confined to what you're seeing here. I can actually just go ahead and create one and then put it where I want it to be and add the different modules or settings that I want to have in there. I can tell it whether or not I want this to go to the left or right. If I say go to the left, it automatically sends it to the left. If I go back in here and say send this over to the right, it will take it to the right and it snaps right in. If I don't want to use that anymore, that goes away. And then if you go into palette, you'll just see the ones that you actually see here. You don't see the one that you just deleted or that you just got rid of. And again, you can go to workspaces to actually save it. So if there's a workspace that you didn't want, so let's say, for instance, I'm going to go to this one here, and I don't want that workspace. I would actually go into here. And now that it's been highlighted, let's say delete that workspace. It's going to delete the one that I'm on. And when I delete that, then it takes it off where it's not in there. So then if I go back and I say, go back to standard, I have no way of going back to the one that I just deleted. I can just go to the ones that I still have available. And that is how you create a palette workflow within DxO PhotoLab. Now, the next thing I want to show you is something really cool. We're going to go ahead and hit quit. I'm going to get out of this. When you go down to your DxO and you hover above the icon on the Mac, if you hold down your Option key, I would imagine they would do the same thing on the Windows machine if you hold down the Alt key, but I can't confirm that because I don't use Windows. If I click on this right here, it is going to open up and it's going to give me the DxO PhotoLab Rescue Kit. This allows me to back up my database. Now, the database it is using is more of an index database. It doesn't take your sidecar information and put it into a database. Your sidecar information stays right next to your photo, wherever your photo is located. But it does do indexing. And so this will show you where the location of that index file is at. I can actually back it up. If I hit this to back it up, you'll see that that's been backed up. I can also go and optimize it. It'll go in and do an optimization and make sure that it's going to be indexing extremely quick. And then I can go to sanitize. And if I sanitize, I can remove anything that's orphaned. So if I have any kind of sidecar information that's related to a photo that has been orphaned, the photo is no longer there, but the keywords and everything are still there. I can tell it to remove it. It will go in and do the removing. I can remove any orphan IPCTC. I can remove duplicate virtual copies. That'll remove that as well. You can see that it gives me a list and tells me what it removed. And then I can say, let's remove any orphan metadata information. I can click that and that removes it as well. And then once I do all those things, I can click this and say quit and relaunch PhotoLab. When I hit that, PhotoLab will restart. And it takes me back into the same area where I was at. So I just wanted to share that information with you. If you have any questions, send me an email. I will answer the emails if you have questions, and I'll see you in the next video.
Subscribe to our channel